So, what do you really need then to change the agent configuration templates to have a working agent? You could of course read the entire documentation, but there are some settings that are more important than others, and I have a few pointers and suggestions that I think will help you to focus on the right settings and skip the things that are less important. These chapters will be packed with tag names, options and suggestions, and are probably something you want to watch when you are about to create your first agent. To read the full documentation, visit the SnowDocs portal and find the section Configuration of Snow Inventory Agents. In the Agent section, you will only find two tags, site name and config name. As a Salmon Atlas customer, these two tags mainly act as labels that can help you group computers in Salmon Atlas, as these tags are available in many of the reports. If you have a local installation of Inventory Server and License Manager, these values serves a more direct purpose, as you can manage and update your inventory agents from the Snow Inventory Admin Console based on the agent site name and configuration name. In both cases, I recommend that you follow a simple principle. Use the site name to specify a location or department. For an example, Stockholm office, or finance, or a combination of them both if you want to be really granular, Stockholm office-finance. And use the config name to identify a unique agent configuration and operating system. You will probably find that you want to create more than just one agent package, depending on the type of computer the agent will be installed on. Here's a couple of examples. For your Linux servers running an Oracle database, you will have to create a package containing the Linux scanner, a Linux version of the agent configuration template with Oracle settings added, and the additional Oracle scanner script. So a suitable config name for that package would be Linux server-oracle. Another example would be an agent for Windows clients in a country with strict privacy laws where the computer username cannot be collected. There is a setting for that in the configuration file, but to make sure that the correct package is deployed to those computers, you might want to give it the name Windows clients-hide usernames. The server section holds all information about the endpoints, where the Snowpack files should be sent after the scan is complete. The only mandatory tag here is the endpoint address, which should hold the URL to either a Snow extender, a service gateway, or a master server, depending on the server technology you have installed. It is possible to add more than one endpoint address to the configuration. In these cases, the inventory agent will randomly select one of the endpoints in the configuration and make a connection attempt to that endpoint. If the endpoint responds, the agent will send all Snowpack files to that endpoint and ignore all other endpoints. If the connection is lost or the agent is restarted, it will randomly contact the endpoints again until one of them responds. If you have a proxy in your network somewhere between the agent and the endpoint, you will also need to add the proxy details here. There are more things you can configure in the server section related to where and how to send the Snowpack files. If you want to know how to configure client certificates for added security, for an example, please have a look at the full configuration documentation. I also want to mention a related tag here called drop location. It is also related to sending Snowpack files, but acts as a secondary target, allowing you to send a copy of each created Snowpack file to a folder or an endpoint. You can have multiple drop locations configured, and unlike the server endpoints, all configured drop locations will receive a copy of the Snowpack files. The software element contains all the file locations that the inventory agent will scan and what file types the agent should include in the scan result. In the configuration template for Windows agents shown here, you will see that the program files folders are included and also all user desktops, start menus, and a few other places. You will rarely have to touch this section for Windows agent configurations. In most cases, the default inclusions are enough to catch all software. But if you find that some application data is missing in your reports and you know that those are installed in a non-standard location, you might need to add a path or two to this section. Each path in the template contains the value recursive 1. This means that the agent will also scan all subfolders at this location. To only scan the specified folder and skip the subfolders, simply change the value from 1 to 0. The Oracle element is used together with the Oracle Scanner, an optional script that will log into a locally installed Oracle database and retrieve information about the database users, management packs, and options. In the Oracle element, set the attribute named Enabled to True to make the inventory agent run the Oracle Scanner as a part of the daily scan. In the Include element, you can specify which database instances should be scanned. The template is pre-configured to scan all instances. In its most simple form, this configuration is all you need to scan an Oracle database, but you can also configure the agent to use a specific username and password to log into the database, include or exclude certain instances, and much more. There is plenty of documentation regarding the Oracle Scanner in the Snow Docs portal in the section Snow Inventory Oracle Scanners, and also in the Inventory Agent Configuration documentation. If you're about to configure an inventory agent to scan an Oracle database, I recommend that you read these articles. The logging element tells the agent what to log and how large the log files are allowed to become before a new file is created and older log files are deleted. The max size is specified in kilobytes. Log levels range from error, where only error messages are logged, to verbose, where the agent is writing more or less everything it does throughout the day. I recommend that you use the log level error for everyday use and raise the log level to verbose when troubleshooting an agent installation. The schedule element is used by the inventory agent to know when to perform the scan routine. The configuration template suggests to do a scan on a daily basis at 9 in the morning, but as you can see, there are tags that would make the agent scan when a user logs on or when the agent service starts. There are even more tags not included in this template that tells the agent to only run on specific weekdays or certain day of the month. The recommendation is to scan daily to keep your inventory of installed and used applications up to date, but the time of day does not matter that much. The randomize setting is adding a bit of randomization to the scan time to make sure that not all agents scan and send the results at the same time, choking the endpoint with too many simultaneous files. In this case, the agent will scan and send the data somewhere between 9 and 10 in the morning. The System Settings section is a bit of a mixed bag of settings, changing the behavior of the agent in different ways, and some of them are more important than others. There are more than 70 settings that can be added, and only a few of them are included in the template. The full list is available in the Snow Docs portal, but I still want to mention a few of them that are more frequently used than others. There are 5 settings to enable and disable the Cloud Application Metering feature on the agent side. These are especially important to know about for Salmon Atlas users. The Cloud Application Metering feature is globally enabled or disabled in the Atlas portal. If you enable the feature, all inventory agents will be informed to install the browser plugins to collect cloud application usage. If you then want to exclude a group of computers from metering cloud applications, you will need to include these system settings and disable the installation of browser plugins for computers that should not collect cloud application usage. But if you are running an on-prem installation of Inventory Server, you can target the cloud application metering activation based on site names and config names from the Inventory Admin Console, which means that you can exclude groups of computers without having to disable the plugin installations in the agent configuration file. The setting is virtual desktop infrastructure is also worth mentioning. If you install inventory agents in a VDI environment, you will need to include this setting for the computers to be inventoried as VDI devices, which is important to license your VDI environment correctly. If you are planning on running the Oracle Scanner to inventory your Oracle databases, you might also need the system setting to locate the Java installation path. As the Oracle Scanner is a Java application, it needs access to a Java runtime. Sometimes the Java runtime path is added to the system variables, and in those cases this path can be omitted from the agent configuration file. But in cases where the Java path is unknown to the system, you can specify it here.